This is the iPhone 12 Pro Max, what we can finally call Apple's latest and greatest smartphone, as what we got 2 weeks ago was not quite that, and the same can be said about the iPhone 12 mini. The regular 12 is not necessarily what I'd call affordable. Yes, this is pretty much part 2 of Apple's iPhone launch, but this time the approach is entirely different. See, while those two first iPhones were designed to cater more to the mainstream, these are actually meant for the extremists. Those of you that were either begging for a throwback to the smaller iPhones of the past, or those looking for the largest and most powerful iPhone Apple could make. I heard that many of you were skipping the first launch because either you were waiting for the bite-sized mini or the larger iPhone was your jam. Whatever your case is, I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow, and let's dive into our first impressions, sponsored by Subcase. Stick around to learn how you can win an iPhone 12 Pro Max or an iPhone 12 mini. As of Friday, your selection for an iPhone has expanded dramatically. Never have we seen 7 iPhones to choose from. And those of you that are in a budget, you might want to choose either the iPhone SE, the XR, or even the 11. The new iPhone 12 lineup is all about offering similar experiences at different sizes and price points, and with these two new additions being complete opposites to each other. First of all, yes, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is massive. A lot of people thought that Apple would iterate on the design and the size, but that's actually not the case. A size comparison with last year's iPhone 11 Pro Max proves that an already oversized phone just got slightly taller and wider, though there are some efficiencies here as it's 2 grams lighter. That said, it doesn't mean that this phone is light in any way. We still have the added heft of the stainless steel in its build. Even this new flat approach of the display contributes to the sense of a larger footprint. And forgive me, but I wanted this silver finish since last year. The chrome elements are crazy elegant, though yeah, it'll pick up fingerprints on the borders like there's no tomorrow, while the frosted back does the complete opposite. By contrast, yes, the iPhone 12 mini is small. It's so crazy small, I have a hard time believing that Apple was able to cram all the functionality of a modern iPhone into such a small chassis. That said, don't forget, Apple was famous for making phones this small years ago. Sadly, I've got no other phone this small to compare it to, but even if you were to stack it next to the iPhone 12, you'd notice the insane difference. This specific blue finish hasn't really grown on me yet, but at least the matte aluminum will handle smudges far better than the Pro, even if the back won't. The materials also contribute to a much lighter feel, which seriously gives you the impression that this phone is completely hollow on the inside. Unboxing them is pretty much the exact same experience we got with the 12. Same boxes that are half the size of anything you've ever seen before. Same experience removing the plastic covers, and underneath you have the 2 iPhones front and center with no plastic protection at the back, and a new white sticker in the front that indicates button controls. Below, the same USB-C to Lightning cable on both boxes, in addition to a small slip of papers, a sticker, and the SIM ejector tool at the top. Again, as I mentioned before, you will find lots of deals for EarPods and even AirPods on Amazon and other retailers. I'll be sure to link to some of these in the description. As for wall adapters, I'd recommend you don't pay the Apple tax when there are so many smaller and faster options from companies like Aukey that I'll also link to. Also, after using Apple's new MagSafe wireless charger for 2 weeks, I can safely say it's not worth the purchase. It's not what I'd call faster, nor smaller to carry, and even if it does charge through a case, the contact with the phone is not always reliable, and sometimes it'll tend to heat up the phone. Now, like in the case of the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro, expect the same exact setup process. Same hello greeting on both, same Wi-Fi setup, and then the same quick options to restore from your old iPhone with a simple snapshot. I just found it odd that the 12 Pro Max required me to update to iOS 14.2, while the Mini didn't. It might actually hint at the delay for this launch depending more on the Mini than the Max. Same activation process that then continues with Face ID, and then the option to restore from iCloud, which oddly the screen claims to be faster than restoring directly from the phone. I'd actually recommend the direct setup because it reduces your need to set up most applications later. By the time you're done, you'll end up with the exact same clone of your previous iPhone, or at least for the most part. Now, over the course of this weekend, I have learned a couple of interesting things that are quite peculiar about these two phones. The first is that in absolutely every way, they are almost the same in everything that counts. This is literally a blown-up iPhone 12 Pro or a shrunk-down iPhone 12. For example, they both sport the same exact Pro Display XDR, the same exact panel with fantastic color and contrast, same viewing angles, same ceramic shield protecting the front. Seriously, you'd assume that at least the larger iPhone has larger speakers, but the difference is barely noticeable. Just remember the lesson I learned with the glass on the first unboxing. It can scratch easily even if it's harder to break. Repairing these phones is not cheap, so I recommend you protect them and channel sponsor Subcase as you covered. If you want to retain the design aesthetics but actually get 15-foot drop resistance certified by MetLabs, my new favorite is the UB Style Clear. It looks minimalistic, but it's actually a scratch-resistant TPU bumper with raised bezels to avoid any scratches, and best of all, it is just $12.99 on Amazon. For those looking for added functionality, we've got the UB Vault, which is made of a shock-absorbent TPU material with carbon fiber texture, and a wraparound bumper that offers ultimate drop protection, along with a built-in credit card holder that's not going to fall off like Apple's MagSafe offerings. Simply search for iPhone 12 case by Subcase on Amazon to find all their options. We have partnered with Subcase to give away an iPhone 12 Pro Max and also an iPhone 12 Mini, so make sure you follow the link in the description and enter promo code PocketNowMax. That will enhance your chances to win. But then continuing on with similarities, yes, almost the exact same internals. Both are powered by the same 5nm A14 Bionic, simply less RAM on the Mini, half the starting storage as well, but which you can upgrade for less money, same IP rating, same Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, all the same flavors of 5G across the board, even on the Mini being this small, and yes, a smaller battery on the Mini, obviously, which also includes slower charging capacities, but I mean, it's a smaller battery, you probably won't notice a difference. Obviously, I'll have to report back on my full review for things like endurance or performance. I have the impression that the 12 Pro Max will excel in these, but I'm curious to see how this Mini is going to hold up. Maybe the second most important difference after the size is the cameras. But for the first time ever, this is not just about the count of sensors. Yes, the 12 Pro Max has more of these, but this is the only iPhone that rocks a different primary camera that also benefits from sensor shift stabilization that we see on Panasonic's and other professional cameras. I mean, if you look closely, you'll even notice that the lenses protrude ever so slightly more than every other iPhone. The Mini, by contrast, is literally just a smaller version of the 12, which I'm actually not going to complain about. The idea of being able to cram these optics in such a small footprint is quite epic. I'll definitely need more time to get back to you on my final impressions of the results, but so far, what you already saw with my final review of the iPhone 12 is pretty much the same story with the 12 Mini. Balanced color, fantastic dynamic range, and crazy detail. I just can't deny how hard it is to come to that conclusion on such a small display. It's hard to go back to this footprint for media production or consumption after so many years with large displays. The iPhone 12 Pro Max is an entirely different story, at least from the panel, but then in regular day photography the results are nearly the same, but the added kick of stabilization matched with LiDAR, which does pull some punches in low light. That said, I am a tad disappointed that Apple continues the same practices ever since the iPhone 7 Plus of using a digital crop from the primary sensor for a telephoto shot in low light. Since the megapixel count is pretty much the same, zoomed-in photos are pretty much useless if you're picky. The versatility of these added focal lengths is mostly useful during the day, even if we do have night mode now supporting all cameras. You won't see much of a difference in selfies across the board given that they use the exact same sensors. And yes, the same processing that does lead to a better looking version of me that I'm used to. Obviously, to each his own when it comes to beautifications and taste. What's truly impressive is video in low light from this phone. At this point, I'm already used to the concept of lens flares becoming a thing in smartphones, but this sensor stabilization renders results that are gimbal-like. I'm not calling the results perfect, but so far this is probably the best video result that I've ever seen from a phone under these dark conditions. I'd still recommend the regular camera if you're looking for better results, but if you want to do vlogging during the day, I don't see why you wouldn't want to trust the convenience of a phone. Just remember to switch HDR off in the settings to avoid editing becoming a nightmare if you're not experienced. To conclude, I have to admit that even if the iPhone 12 mini has a purpose and a niche, I feel that this is the phone that I'm going to have the hardest time adapting to. Yes, I do appreciate a phone that fits in my hand, but at a time when content consumption is what most people do with their smartphones, I've learned that display size actually does matter. I also have to admit that this is actually the first time that I've chosen to review the larger Pro Max variant of an iPhone. Like seriously, go back to our video library, you'll notice that I've always chosen the smaller Pro. That review is actually coming soon, but the promise of a better camera system that has the potential for replacing a camera for vlogging is something that I'm actually looking forward to for my personal use. I am still battling with how large it is, but this is the first time that Apple actually makes a better phone and not just a larger blown-up Pro. Obviously, we'll have to see if the added benefits make up for the difference in footprint as we progress in our full review. Let us know which comparisons you'd like to see in the comments down below, and while you're at it, follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Also, follow me on my personal handles to see me avoid all the opportunities for That's What She Said jokes in this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.